Hey everybody, welcome back. Team Walters here. We're here. Richard's here. So Team Walters and Richard's here talking with you. So welcome everybody, new subscribers. Welcome to the channel. It's the first time you're seeing us. We normally do something along safety, fire safety. On Sundays, on Wednesdays, I do documenting what I'm doing to improve my health in my life. So today we're going to talk about something that's near and dear to my heart. It's about drunk driving. Really passionate about this. Over the years, being a firefighter, I've seen a lot of wrecks caused by people under influence of alcohol, people under influence of drugs. But today we're talking about drunk driving. So we're actually talking about alcohol or even the influence of drugs. So it's not good. As people are going to be out New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. We talked about this before. I'm going to switch gears with it. Thanksgiving Eve to Christmas Eve is one of the biggest DUI times of the year because people are off. Thanksgiving Eve, they're drinking because they don't got to go work on Thanksgiving Day. New Year's Eve, everybody's out celebrating with family, friends, whatever. And they drink and then they end up driving. So we're going to give you alternatives. So you don't drink and drive, you have alternatives. So we're going to go over those. Before you go out, like on New Year's Eve, I'm going to be the DD. I don't like drinking on New Year's Eve. It's not my thing unless I'm staying somewhere. We're not staying anywhere. We got a couple friends to visit. So I'm going to be the DD for that night. I'm not going to drink that night. We're going to do some driving. We'll be back in before. Yeah, I'm getting a thumbs up. So, but we'll be back in before the ball hits midnight. So I don't like being out after that. Probably be in by 10 o'clock. This is something else. If you do get a DD, don't let them drink. Okay. A couple years ago, 1999. That was 20 years ago. Wow. So in 1999, I was driving for Unique Limousine. There's a shout out there in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. It was 1999. Party like 1999. Who sang that? Prince sang it, 1999. So I actually got paid. I was driving limo. They were paying $200 just for signing up. The minimum hourly thing was 3 hours. You were guaranteed $200 plus the 3 hours plus the gratuity. I got a gig driving a van, and that's what I did. I was the DD for the night. I went around, picked up this guy's friends, and drove them over to his place. They partied all night. They wouldn't let me sit in the van. I went in. I had all the food I could want and whatever. And then when everybody was ready, I started taking people home. So I was a DD. I got paid very good money to be somebody's DD. If you do have a designated driver, you're out drinking with friends, make sure you exchange phone numbers if you don't know the person. Maybe it's a friend's friend that's driving. Exchange phone numbers with them. That brings me to the second thing, or the third thing is make sure your phone's charged. Okay, I'm gonna have links below to Uber. Did I say it right? I said it right. And Lyft. I'm not gonna try it again. But I have links where you can sign up for that. But make sure your phone's charged up, ready to go. My phone holds a pretty good charge. I have friends that have iPhones and their phones go right through the battery thing. So even take your charger with you if you have to, but you want to keep your phones charged. If you go out alone, do not drink alcohol. That's the simplest way. If you're driving, don't drink. It's the simplest way to do it. You're not going to get pulled over for DUI, and it wouldn't matter anyhow because you haven't had a drink, right? It's the simplest way to do it. Don't drink when you're alone. Order non-alcoholic beverages such as soft drink or water. So I don't drink pop, so I would drink water. I'll teach you a trick at the end to when you're out with friends and stuff. So never feel pressure to drink alcohol. If you plan on drinking, do so responsibly. Be smart about it. Eat plenty of food, drink the water, you know what I mean? I'm going to leave a calculator below that you can just play with to see how many drinks it takes and then how long do you get your blood alcohol content down. So I'll leave a link that below. If you're drinking, okay, if you're out drinking, you're alone or whatever, you're out with friends, you both start drinking. Like if for some reason I start drinking on New Year's Eve, well, I'm done. Wherever I'm at, I'm at. So if I'm at a friend's house, guess what? I'm crashing there, okay? That's where I'm at because I can't afford to do it. Nobody can really afford to do it, and I don't want that responsibility, okay? I'm out to save lives, not to take a life or anything, something like that. That's extreme, but it happens all the time. So if I am out drinking or whatever, I'm with friends, we're both drinking, you can call the Uber. I said it right twice. You can call Lyft. I have links to them below. You can call a taxi, okay? If you live around the city, I live in a rural area, so we don't have taxis up that way. We have the Uber and the Lyft and stuff like that. But put the taxi numbers in your phone before you leave. It's a lot easier to look them up when you're sober than when you're under the influence. So, but I put links to Lyft and Uber below. Never get in a car where somebody's been drinking. If somebody's been drinking, you don't want to get in a car and ride with them. Find somebody or try to get their keys off and whatever you got to do. You don't want to get in that car with them, okay? Especially when they've been heavily under the influence of alcohol. I told my daughter a long time ago if she was going out and partying, whatever, that she was to call me, I'd come get her. No questions asked, no judgment. I'd just go get her. I did not want her getting in a car with somebody who's been drinking, under influence of drugs, or just being plain stupid. So that was our deal. And if I was working, I had backup plans. I had people that were willing to go get her. Some of my brothers in the fire service, my mom, my dad, we had things already lined up because I'd never want her to feel, or any of my kids feel, that I'm going to pass judgment on them when they make a good judgment and say, hey, I'm not getting in the car with you. I'll call my dad. So that's just a little side note. Take keys. Protect others by taking their keys if they attempt to drive after consuming alcohol. They may be mad at you, but the end result is the alternative is much worse, right? Was at a party years ago when I lived out east. Guy was under influence of alcohol. Say, hey man, dude, I'll drive you home. I haven't been drinking. Blah, blah, blah. He fought me. I mean, it was a big fight. It was 45 minutes to take him a 5-minute ride because he wanted to drive home. And he was so mad. And you believe this? I seen him a couple of days later. He didn't even remember the conversation. That's how bad he was. But I wasn't letting him drive home. We almost got in a fist fight, but that's okay. We didn't. This was something that caught my attention is purchase your alcohol when you're sober. I like purchase your alcohol when you're sober is Motley Crue, one of their singer, their lead singer, and I forget his name is. It's in the movie. But it was on Netflix, if you have it. So that's what they did. They went out to get alcohol. He ended up killing a guy, got time in prison and stuff like that. That's why you buy your alcohol while you're sober. Get what you need, bring back. If you're staying at home, drink as much as you want because you're home. Like I said before, stay where you're at. If something happened, I do drink on New Year's Eve. Guess what? They're gonna have some guests. They're gonna have some people crash our party. I've slept on floors. I've slept on couches. I've slept some really strange places. So, you know what I mean? You know, it happens. You can call somebody you trust for a ride. I have friends that I can call. My old lieutenant said if I was ever under influence and I was working, or wasn't, not under influence while I was working, but if I was in the city, to give him a call. You know what I'm saying? Use public transportation. There's another alternative, bus, trains. Where I live, we don't have buses and trains, so you have to rely on friends. Here's something else is you can pay somebody to drive you. I can actually pay my daughter to drive my vehicle and drive me if I'm going around partying or whatnot to different places. I can pay my daughter, pay a non-family member, a family member, it's a non-drinker, or a non-family member, or somebody is looking to make a few bucks. You can have them drive you around. You know what I mean? If we both wanted to drink tonight, I'm sure I could hire my daughter probably is out partying, but I could hire somebody to drive us around. You know what I mean? Pay their way, pay for their dinner. If you're going somewhere, pay their way to get in. A lot of places have those wristbands. They're designated driver. They get free pop and stuff like that. That's Western PA slang. Soda for the rest of y'all. Do you hear I put that little slang in there? So, but they give you wristbands, so drink and drive. If you're hosting a party with alcohol, make sure you talk to people to plan ahead. Went to a couple of different parties. The admission to get in was your keys. This guy was pretty smart too. He goes, was your car locked? And he'd say, make sure. And then he'd make sure you were giving him the right keys because he'd make you lock your car. It was brilliant. It was brilliant when he did it. So season the keys is. Below, I'm going to put, those are just some of the ideas. If somebody has some other ideas or whatever that you do, I've done all kinds of different stuff, had rides. I've slept in my car. In Pennsylvania, the keys can't be readily available. So I would hide the keys somewhere out of the car, not inside the car, outside the car. I'd sleep in the back, not in the back seat. I used to have a minivan. I'd put a blanket down and the sleeping bag, and I'd sleep in my car. My keys weren't in ignition. They weren't readily available. They weren't on my person. They were outside the vehicle. I wasn't sitting in the driver's seat. That's where I slept because I didn't have an alternative. I knew I was going to be there for a while. So I slept till the next morning. I woke up with the sun in my face. So, and then I went, walked out, got something to eat, came back, and by that time I was sober. So I'm going to leave a link below to Mothers Against Drunk Driving for the statistics. And then below that is the American Addiction Center for help finding a treatment. There's a number there. If you have a drinking problem or an alcohol problem, or drug addiction, you can give them a call. They can guide you in the right direction. And below that's a calculator for your blood alcohol, so you can see around how many drinks and how fast you can get drunk. And then below that, I listed the alcohol impairment chart in Pennsylvania, so that just gives you an idea. So we here at Team Walters want to wish you and your family a happy 2020, and we want to make it a safe, happy 2020 by not drinking and driving. If you have any questions, concerns, feel free to contact me at teamwalters133@gmail. teamwalters133@gmail. If you like what we're doing here, hit subscribe, okay? Hit the bell for notifications. Tell somebody about it. Happy New Year, everybody.